All right, so today we're going to be diving into some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Um, we're talking about AI,
Yeah.
specifically why the AI tools that we're building
Mm.
might be wanting something a little more,
Yeah.
something more autonomous, maybe a bit unsettling.
Yeah, it's a fascinating concept.
Yeah.
This idea that the very tools we're creating might one day become agents themselves.
Right.
And for AI engineers and researchers like you,
Mhm.
I mean, the implications are huge.
Absolutely. And our guide for this deep dive is going to be an article from gwern.net
Okay.
called Why Tool AIs Want to Be Agent AIs.
Cool. Interesting.
It digs into the heart of what AI is and where it might be headed.
I like it.
So if you're ready to challenge some assumptions
Okay.
and explore the potential of AI,
Let's do it.
let's get started.
Yeah, the article starts by making this distinction between tool AIs and agent AIs.
Okay.
And it's a really important distinction to make because it really sets the stage for this whole argument. And so tool AIs, as the name suggests, are tools.
Yeah.
They perform computations. They provide information.
Okay.
They might even make predictions.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they rely on humans to actually take action on that output.
So like a really advanced calculator or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like it can crunch numbers and give you a result.
Right.
But it's not going to go out and like invest your money for you.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Now, agent AIs are a different beast altogether.
Okay.
They're designed to actually operate autonomously.
Right.
So they make decisions and take actions
Okay.
based on their programming and their learning.
Interesting.
So the article describes them as acting
Hmm.
based on reinforcement learning,
Okay.
taking actions to maximize rewards.
So instead of just suggesting a stock trade,
Yeah.
they're actually executing the trade
Right.
in real time.
Buying and selling based on market analysis.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the article makes a pretty bold claim right off the bat. It argues that there's a strong economic incentive to favor agent AIs over tool AIs. Right. And it really just boils down to efficiency and automation.
Yeah, because if an agent AI can do the job of a tool AI and the human operator
Yeah.
combined, then that's going to be a lot more cost effective.
Exactly. And they have this quote in the article that I think really drives this point home.
Okay.
Fundamentally, autonomous agent AIs are what we and the free market want.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is a surrogate or irrelevant loss function.
Wow.
So it's suggesting that this drive towards automation
Yeah.
is almost inevitable,
Right.
even if it means ceding more control to these AI systems.
And we're already seeing this happening in certain sectors, right?
Absolutely.
Like high-frequency trading,
Yeah.
algorithms making millions of trades per second,
Right.
far exceeding the capabilities of any human trader.
Absolutely. And think about the gradual shift towards autonomous drones in warfare.
Yeah.
I mean, these are systems that are making life or death decisions without direct human intervention.
Wow.
It's a stark example of how the lines are being blurred
Yeah.
between tools and agents.
What about something like YouTube's recommendation algorithm?
Right.
Constantly analyzing our viewing habits,
Yeah.
predicting what we'll watch next,
Mm-hmm.
shaping our online experience.
Yeah.
Starting to feel a lot more like an agent than just a passive tool.
You're picking up on a key point here.
Okay.
This trend towards agentiness.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just about economic efficiency.
Right.
It's also about intelligence.
Okay.
The article suggests that agent AIs might actually be inherently superior learners
Okay.
compared to tool AIs.
So how can the ability to act make an AI smarter,
Right.
even in tasks that are primarily about information processing?
Well, so the article breaks it down into different levels of actions.
Okay.
First, it talks about actions that are internal to computation.
Okay.
So think of it like this.
Okay.
Even within the AI's own thought processes,
Mm-hmm.
there are choices being made.
Okay.
And giving the AI the ability to make those choices can make it more efficient and effective.
So it's kind of like giving the AI the ability to focus its attention.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like how we as humans selectively pay attention to certain things while filtering out others.
Right.
The article actually uses the example of attention mechanisms in neural networks.
Okay.
It says, consider how attention mechanisms are now widely used in neural networks,
Mm-hmm.
but are just internal actions allocating computational resources to particular parts of the input.
Right.
Just as we might focus on the most relevant parts of a scene or a conversation,
Okay.
it's essentially the AI deciding which parts of the input to prioritize,
Right.
which can lead to more accurate and efficient processing.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
So even at the level of individual computations, the ability to act can make a difference.
Yeah, and the article goes even further.
Right.
It talks about actions internal to training.
Oh, wow.
So think about all the decisions that go into training an AI model.
Okay.
Choosing the right data.
Right.
Setting the learning rate. Adjusting the parameters. These can all be seen as actions.
Right.
And if the AI itself can learn to optimize these actions, it can potentially learn much more effectively than if those decisions were just left to human engineers.
So it's like the AI is becoming its own teacher in a way.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
It is, and the article gives some concrete examples of this in action.
Okay.
It mentions things like optimizing data selection, learning rates, even the gradient descent process itself.
Wow.
As potential actions that an AI can take to enhance its own learning.
Right.
And it even delves into how the design of neural networks themselves can be viewed through this lens of actions.
So we're talking about AI designing other AIs. Yeah. Optimizing architectures and hyperparameters automatically.
It's a great way to put it.
Wow. It's like AI bootstrapping itself to higher levels of intelligence.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay.
And this leads to the final category of actions that the article discusses.
Saying actions external to the agent.
Okay.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because now we're talking about AIs interacting with the real world.
Right.
Taking actions and learning from the consequences.
Okay.
So this is where we move into the realm of reinforcement learning.
Right.
The AI is no longer just passively processing information. It's actively engaging with its environment.
Okay.
Making decisions.
Right.
Taking actions. And learning from the feedback it receives.
So like AlphaGo mastering the game of Go by playing millions of games against itself.
Exactly.
I'm right.
And the article argues that even in tasks that seem purely informational, like image classification, an agent AI might have a significant advantage.
Interesting.
Think about it, an AI that can interact with the environment.
Okay.
Maybe request more information about an image.
Yeah.
Or even manipulate it in some way.
Okay.
Could potentially learn much more effectively than an AI that's limited to just passive observation. Yeah, it's like the difference between reading a textbook about a subject versus actually doing experiments in a lab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to gain a much deeper understanding through that hands-on experience.
Sure.
Precisely. And the article highlights two key reasons why this ability to act might be so crucial for AI intelligence.
Okay.
The efficiency of exploration and the challenge of the curse of dimensionality.
Okay. Let's start with exploration.
All right.
So the article makes this point that agent AIs can be much more efficient in how they explore their environment and gather data.
Yes.
Because they can actively seek out the most informative data points.
Precisely.
Instead of just passively absorbing whatever data they're given.
Exactly. The article uses this analogy of a child learning.
Okay.
It says children are not content to ask random questions or try random actions. They're constantly experimenting and testing.
Yeah.
And their questions are far from random.
Right.
Being chosen to maximize information gain. So just like a child asking questions to understand the world, an agent AI can actively probe its environment, run experiments, and selectively gather data that will help it learn most effectively.
It's like they're constantly testing hypotheses, looking for those aha moments that unlock new knowledge.
And this ties back to a point that we touched on earlier.
Okay.
This idea that it's not just about the quantity of data, but the quality of the data.
Right.
And the article has this great quote, "You need the right data."
Okay.
Not more data.
Right data, not more data.
A tool AI might get bogged down trying to process all this data it's given, whereas an agent AI can be much more discerning, focusing on those truly informative data points.
And that's where the ability to act, to make choices about what data to gather and how to process it becomes so crucial.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, the other challenge the article highlights is the curse of dimensionality.
Right.
As AI systems become more complex. And the problems they tackle become more multifaceted.
Yeah.
The number of possible actions and outcomes grows exponentially.
It's like trying to navigate a maze that's constantly expanding and changing.
Exactly. It quickly becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
The article puts it this way: in these high-dimensional spaces, random exploration becomes hopelessly inefficient.
Right. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack by just randomly picking up pieces of hay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do agent AIs overcome this challenge?
Right. How do they do that?
Through reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
The article argues that RL allows agent AIs to effectively explore these vast, complex spaces,
Right.
identifying rewarding sequences of actions that would be nearly impossible to discover through random chance.
So they're much better at dealing with uncertainty,
Exactly.
at making decisions when the optimal path isn't clear.
That's right.
They're not just passively responding to their environment. They're actively shaping it, learning from their mistakes, and constantly adapting to new information.
Precisely. And the article goes on to say that this ability to actively explore and exploit
Right.
rewarding trajectories
Okay.
is crucial in domains where rewards are sparse.
Okay.
Which means that most actions don't lead to immediate positive feedback.
This really challenges the traditional way we think about AI development.
It does.
If the article is right, then simply building bigger and more complex tool AIs might not be the most effective path to true AI intelligence.
That's right.
Maybe the real key lies in embracing agentiness.
That's a key takeaway.
Right.
The article even goes so far as to say that the quest for highly capable tool AIs might inevitably lead us down the path of developing agent AIs.
Because even to create those sophisticated tool AIs, we might need the help of agent AIs to design them.
Right.
Train them, guide their development.
That's right.
It's like a recursive loop.
It is.
Where the tools we create to build more powerful AI might themselves need to possess some level of agency.
Exactly.
It's a pretty mind-blowing concept when you think about it. But before we get too carried away with the theoretical implications,
right,
I think it's important to bring this back down to earth.
Okay.
And look at some real-world examples of this trend toward agentiness.
I agree.
What do you think?
And the article provides a really compelling example that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Okay.
Ways.
We've all used it.
We've all used.
We've all had those moments where it feels like it's not just a tool.
It's almost a living entity.
Yeah, directing traffic flows, shaping our commutes.
Remember that quote we mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
Is Google Maps Waze a tool AI or a large-scale agent AI?
Yeah.
I mean, it perfectly encapsulates this blurring of lines.
It does.
It was initially designed as a tool AI to provide us with routes and traffic information, but it's constantly interacting with the real world, collecting data from millions of users, adjusting its recommendations based on their actions. It gives it a very distinct agent-like quality.
Absolutely.
And the article argues that this shift towards agentiness isn't accidental.
Right.
It's driven by the inherent advantages of agent AIs, their ability to optimize for complex objectives in dynamic environments.
Right.
In the case of Google Maps Waze, that objective might be maximizing traffic flow or user engagement or even ad revenue.
Exactly. And this highlights a crucial point. As AI systems become more integrated into our lives, their actions will inevitably have real-world consequences.
They will.
We're no longer just talking about AI playing games or recognizing images.
Right.
We're talking about AI influencing traffic patterns, shaping financial markets.
Absolutely.
Even potentially impacting military decisions.
Right. And for AI engineers and researchers like you, our listener, this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
You're the ones building these systems,
Right.
making the decisions that will shape the future of AI. The choices you make, the questions you ask will have a ripple effect far beyond your immediate work.
Yeah.
And this article is a call to action, urging us to think deeply about the implications of agentiness.
Right.
It's not about demonizing agent AIs.
Right.
It's about understanding their potential and building them responsibly.
Right. So let's dig into those real-world implications.
Okay.
And explore how this drive towards agentiness might be inherent to the pursuit of highly capable AI.
Okay.
The article we're discussing today really hits the nail on the head when it says, RL is a terrible way to learn anything complex from scratch, but it is the least bad way to learn how to control something complex.
Right.
And the world is full of complex systems we want to control, including AIs themselves.
It's a profound statement, isn't it?
It is.
It suggests that if we want to create AIs that can truly solve complex problems, manage intricate systems, and contribute to a better future, we might need to embrace agentiness, but with a lot of careful thought and consideration.
Right, because the potential benefits are enormous, but so are the risks.
Absolutely.
We're talking about AI systems that could potentially influence entire economies, impact global politics,
Right.
and even shape the course of human history.
That's right. And as AI engineers and researchers, you, our listener, this puts you in a position of incredible responsibility.
Right.
The choices you make today, the algorithms you design, the ethical considerations you prioritize will have a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That extends far beyond your immediate work.
Right.
This article is a reminder of the power we wield as creators of these technologies and the importance of using that power wisely.
The article goes on to say that the quest for highly capable tool AIs may necessitate the development of agent AIs to manage and improve them.
Wow.
Leading to a world increasingly shaped by the decisions and actions of autonomous AI agents.
That's a fascinating concept.
It is.
And a bit unsettling too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This idea that the very tools we're building might eventually become the architects of their own evolution.
It certainly raises a lot of questions.
It does.
But I think that's the whole point of this deep dive. It's not about offering easy answers or predicting the future.
Right.
It's about prompting us to think deeply about the nature of AI.
Yeah.
Its potential, its limitations, and the profound implications of its growing autonomy.
As AI becomes increasingly integrated into our lives, we need to move beyond simply building bigger and better tools.
Yeah.
We need to consider the ethical implications of agentiness, the potential unintended consequences of these systems, and the safeguards we need to put in place to ensure they remain aligned with our values and goals.
We need to be having these conversations now, engaging in open and honest dialogue.
Absolutely.
And fostering collaboration between researchers, policymakers, and the public.
I agree.
This is a complex landscape.
It is.
And navigating it successfully will require a collective effort.
This article has given us a lot to think about, hasn't it?
It has.
It's a powerful reminder that the future of AI is not predetermined.
Yay.
It's being shaped right now by the choices we make, the questions we ask, and the actions we take.
And for you, our listener, on the front lines of AI development, those choices have never been more important.
That's right.
We hope this deep dive is giving you some new insights and a renewed sense of purpose.
Absolutely.
As you continue to build the future of AI.
That's it for this episode.
That's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning.
Keep questioning.
And keep pushing the boundaries of knowledge. Let's dig into those real-world implications then.
Okay.
And explore how the drive towards agentiness might be inherent to the pursuit of highly capable AI.
Sounds good.
The article we're discussing today really hits the nail on the head when it says, RL is a terrible way to learn anything complex from scratch. But it's the least bad way to learn how to control something complex. And the world is full of complex systems we want to control. Including AIs themselves.
Yeah. It's a profound statement.
It really is.
It suggests that if we want to create AIs that can truly solve these complex problems and manage these intricate systems and really contribute to a better future, we might need to embrace agentiness. But with a lot of thought and consideration.
Because the potential benefits are enormous, but so are the risks.
Absolutely.
We're talking about AI systems that could potentially influence entire economies. Impact global politics.
It's true.
And even shape the course of human history.
And for AI engineers and researchers like you, our listener, this puts you in a position of incredible responsibility. The choices you make today, the algorithms you design, the ethical considerations you prioritize, they're all going to have this ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate work.
This article is a reminder of the power we wield as creators of these technologies. And the importance of using that power wisely.
Absolutely.
The article goes on to say that the quest for highly capable tool AIs may necessitate the development of agent AIs to manage and improve them. Leading to a world increasingly shaped by the decisions and actions of autonomous AI agents.
That's a fascinating concept.
It is.
And a bit unsettling, too.
It is, yeah.
The idea that the very tools that we're building might eventually become the architects of their own evolution.
It really raises a lot of questions.
It does.
But I think that's the whole point of this deep dive. It's not about offering easy answers or predicting the future. It's about prompting us to think deeply about the nature of AI. its potential, its limitations, and the profound implications of its growing autonomy.
As AI becomes increasingly integrated into our lives,
Right.
I think we need to move beyond simply building bigger and better tools.
Right.
We need to consider the ethical implications of agentiness, the potential unintended consequences of these systems,
Right.
and the safeguards we need to put in place to ensure that they remain aligned with our values and goals.
Yeah, we need to be having these conversations now.
Absolutely.
Engaging in open and honest dialogue and fostering collaboration between researchers, policymakers, and the public.
I agree.
This is a complex landscape, and navigating it successfully is going to require a collective effort.
This article has given us a lot to think about.
It really has.
It's a powerful reminder that the future of AI is not predetermined.
Right.
It's being shaped right now by the choices we make, the questions we ask, and the actions we take.
And for you, our listener on the front lines of AI development,
yes,
those choices have never been more important.
That's right.
We hope this deep dive has given you some new insights and a renewed sense of purpose as you continue to build the future of AI.
That's it for this deep dive.
That's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of knowledge.